You tell yourself you're finally going to start saving money. This month will be different. You get paid. You pay the bills. You buy groceries. You handle a few unexpected expenses. And somehow, the month ends with almost nothing left. Then you promise yourself you'll do better next month. But next month looks exactly the same. If this keeps happening, you might think you're simply bad with money. But that's not necessarily the problem. The real problem is that most people try to save whatever is left after spending, and usually there isn't much left. Think about how your paycheck actually works. Money comes in, then rent takes some, bills take some, food takes some, transportation takes some, subscriptions take some, and then your brain says, whatever is left can be saved. But here's the problem. Spending has no natural stopping point. If you have $3,000 available, you can find ways to spend $3,000. If you have $3,500, suddenly you have $3,500 worth of things that feel necessary. A better phone, more restaurant meals, more delivery, a few online purchases, a weekend trip. And none of these purchases feels like the reason you're not saving. That's what makes the problem so difficult. Your spending doesn't usually look dangerous. It looks normal. And normal spending can quietly consume your entire income. Let's say you earn $4,000 a month. You decide you want to save $800. Sounds reasonable. But then rent costs $1,400. Utilities and bills take another $300. Food costs $500. Transportation takes $350. Subscriptions and small recurring expenses add another $150. Now you're already at $2,700. You still have $1,300. So you think, I can definitely save $800. Then life happens. Your car needs something. You go out with friends. You order food twice. You buy something you've been wanting. And suddenly, that $1,300 becomes $300. Now you're frustrated. You didn't make one huge mistake. You just spent the money before giving your savings a chance to exist. And this is where psychology matters. Your brain is much better at responding to what is available right now than what might matter years from now. $100 purchase gives you an immediate reward. Saving the $100 gives you almost nothing you can feel today. The benefit comes later, maybe months later, maybe years later. So when spending and saving compete for the same dollar, spending often feels more emotionally satisfying. That's why telling yourself, I'll save whatever is left, usually fails. You're asking your future self to fight your present self every single month. And your present self has access to the money. Your future self doesn't. So instead of trying harder, change the system. Save first. Spend what's left. Imagine your $4,000 paycheck arrives. Instead of sending $4,000 into your spending account, immediately move $400 into a separate savings account. Now you only see $3,600 available. Your lifestyle begins adapting to $3,600. And that $400 is no longer competing with every purchase you make. This is one of the simplest changes you can make. But there's another reason saving feels impossible. Your fixed expenses may be too high. And this is where cutting tiny expenses can become a distraction. People spend hours trying to save $5 on coffee while ignoring the $500 decision sitting in their budget. Your apartment, your car, your debt payments, your insurance, your recurring commitments. These are the expenses that can determine whether saving is easy or nearly impossible. If your monthly fixed expenses consume almost your entire paycheck, no amount of skipping coffee will magically create financial freedom. You need to attack the biggest numbers first. Maybe you don't need the newest car. Maybe you don't need the apartment that consumes half your income. Maybe you need to eliminate a recurring payment that you've forgotten about. Small expenses matter. But large recurring expenses can change your entire financial equation. And then there's another trap: lifestyle inflation. You get a raise. Your income increases by $500. Instead of saving part of it, you upgrade something. Then another raise comes, another upgrade. Your income keeps increasing, but your savings barely move because every increase in income becomes permission to increase your lifestyle. So if you want saving to become easier, create a rule before the next raise arrives. For example, whenever your income increases, automatically save at least half of the increase. If your salary goes up by $500, save $250 before you adjust your lifestyle. You still get to enjoy the raise, but your financial future gets a raise too. And here's the part most people underestimate: saving gets easier after you build your first small cushion. If you have $0 saved, every unexpected expense feels like an emergency. A $300 repair can destroy your month. A $500 medical bill can go onto a credit card. A delayed paycheck can create panic. But once you have a few $1,000s sitting safely in reserve, something changes. Not because you're suddenly rich, because you have breathing room. Your car breaks. You can handle it. An unexpected bill arrives. You don't immediately reach for debt. Your paycheck is delayed. You have time. That first emergency fund isn't just money, it's psychological space. And once you experience that feeling, saving becomes much more rewarding because now you're not only saving for some distant future, you're buying freedom from future panic. So if saving money feels impossible, don't start by asking, how can I become more disciplined? Ask better questions. How much money automatically leaves my account every month? Which three expenses are actually hurting my budget? How much will I save automatically on payday? And how much of every future raise will I keep? Because saving isn't about becoming perfect with money. It's about making the right behavior easier than the wrong behavior. If saving requires you to remember every month, you'll eventually forget. If saving requires willpower every month, you'll eventually spend. But if saving happens automatically before you can touch the money, you don't need to win the same battle every payday. Your goal isn't to save what's left after your lifestyle. Your goal is to build a lifestyle around what remains after you've paid your future self. Because the moment saving becomes automatic, something important happens. You stop wondering where your money went. You start deciding where your money is going. And that's when saving finally stops feeling impossible.